Well, we've got an extra feature on Summer Phoenix TV. There's no hockey, so let's talk about something else. I've got the boss Neil here with me. Hello, Neil.
How you doing?
And going to find out a wee bit about him and just whether he's just sat out in the patio all summer or he's actually doing something like the rest of us. Neil, interests. Forget hockey. We're not talking hockey. We know you're a bit of a biker. You haven't quite got the hair for it anymore, but you're a bit of a biker.
I've got the hair for it. I mean, if you've not seen Tony and I, if anybody wears helmets a lot is going to struggle with hair. You know what I mean? So I have the smoothest legs in the world through wearing bike boots. They're just awesome.
Right, well, we'll not go into your legs, but tell us a wee bit about what you're going to be up to this summer then, apart from keeping Phoenix together. Let's talk about your time, Neil time.
Gardening. I like gardening. Gardening's good.
Gardening?
Yeah, I do gardening. Yeah, I do gardening.
With your helmet?
No, without my helmet.
Right.
Gardening's good. I like gardening and looking after all the plants and the grass and the coniferous trees. Or would you like me to go on to something else?
Well, gardening. It's normally talk about gardening when somebody's going on gardening leave, so we'll leave that one. This is about as bad as interviewing Adam Calder.
I know. I'm sorry. No, okay. On a more serious note, yeah, I am. I have obviously been cleared last year with my back from my back injury, which I don't know whether many people know, but towards the end of my motorcycle career I broke my back and it pushed two of my vertebrae into my sciatic nerve, and I struggled for a long time with it and went to a lot of different specialists and was told not to go up ladders, not to do anything strenuous, not to train, and I really struggled for a long while with my weight and trying to keep things under control. Unfortunately I met a guy I don't know 12 years ago now where all this started, Doug Clark at Dynamic Chiropractic, which is Doug treated me and took some three-dimensional scans and saw that what had happened is my back had healed in such a way it pushed my spine forward and pushed I think 3 and 4 vertebrae into my sciatic nerve, and they manipulated me over a period of over 12 months and put my back right. So that in simple terms means that this year I get the opportunity to enter a vets race, which is any of the ex-pro-am lads from 36 to I think whatever age they want can enter into a race, of which of course you've got all the ex-British champions in there. So I'm racing in that, and then I'll also do what's known as a pram race with one of the young under 20s, where we go in and we race for sort of for money for charity, which is quite good, and he's quite quick, Danny McBride, which is one of the up-and-coming quick boys. So that should be good fun as well. I think the thing that I'm finding really hard is the training. Actually training to the level that some of these guys, even in the vets race, are still training to. Some of them are running what are known as boot camps, which is where they just train riders all day, every day. They're up at 5 o'clock, go running, do 35 miles, etc., etc. And I think training to that level and getting back to being that fit is proving to be a real challenge, and there's a lot of pain involved and a lot of hurt. So if I can still ride, so if I can get over the training and get fit enough to be able to put in a good 45-minute shift non-stop, and maybe get the pair of us in the top 10 out of 52, then you know what, I think I probably swum the channel. Well,
one of the few sports I don't know a lot about, actually, that motorcycle and horse racing too, I know nothing about. Now to me, you've got a bad back, you push this that way and the other way, and then you're crouching down, bending down in the most awkward angle you can ever see anybody on. Doesn't that make a difference?
I think now my back's right, and my back is right. You know, I used to get, and I won't go into it, but I used to get spasms where I felt paralysed and stuff, and it did scare me. And all the advice of don't go up ladders and don't do this and don't jump off that and don't do this. You know, you pretty much think you're fairly over with it. But you know, I've managed to get myself up to a pretty good fitness level, and the practices I've been out this year have been good, and you know, qualified out of 200 at I don't know 38th or something. So, which was very hard work, but yeah, it's good. A little bit of a mishap in the fact that I've blown my own bike up 2 weekends ago, completely crankshaft, pistons, the lot. So that's in a million pieces across the road being rebuilt. But it's all good. It's all good.
Right. Okay, but there's something else really that you're. Another crazy thing. What's this about MMA or cage fighting?
It's because my family, one of my brothers is obviously in Cage Warriors this year, and he's been training with Sean and I, just trying to get his fitness levels up. But it's not easy to train with because he kills the pair of us. So we just get kicked around the ring really. Even though both of us, both Sean and I, have done mixed martial arts. I've got black belt in jiu-jitsu and a sash in wushu. But unfortunately he's big and nasty and not easy to spar with. So you know what, it's helping with the fitness and stuff. But if I'm honest with you, I think going in the cage and fighting these loons myself, just maybe it's just a bridge too far.
How old are you, Neil?
I am 53 in a couple of weeks.
You're mad. Right, so this is all to keep you sane for the trials and tribulations of the hockey season again.
Yeah. And you know what? I do a lot of this outside of hockey as well, and I still shoot a lot because I've shot since I've been a kid. So obviously I've got a firearms license, and I've shot for Cheshire at some point. I'm still shooting for the club now, and I train with some of the local lads, and that's good fun as well. And I wouldn't miss that. And then there's running Comtech and gardening. So
gardening.
Yeah, there's quite a few bits and pieces really to get through and keep me busy. And then there's my other Scots friend who rings me on a daily basis while we discuss hockey anyway. Right. So I don't miss an awful lot of it, you know.
Talking of Mr. Hand, who's sunning himself at the moment, he'll be back at the end of the week, I think, as far as I know.
And he's flown back in today. Oh no, sorry, where are we? He will have flown
he's back. Of course he is. He's back. He's back home now. Yeah,
he's back now. Yeah,
doesn't even get a 2-week holiday.
No, he does not.
But we've announced, of course, our first 2 signings, and they're big ones, aren't they?
Yeah. I think, you know what, I think our first line is going to be awesome. To be honest with you, I think it's going to be great, and I think we had a good first line last year, and I think we played some good hockey last year. But you know, I think you're always looking to try and strengthen your team and make a few changes. And you know, to be fair, you've got a good idea where your changes are going to be before the season finishes. Even on our run up to the playoffs, you know, we've got a good idea what we want to do. And Tony and I have a lot of discussions and things. And even players that have left us, we've got a good idea they're going to leave. You can see who's poaching them. You can see what's going on. You can see the type of money that's been thrown around. And to be fair to Tony, and you know what, I've probably said this every year when you interview me. He does a great job for this club, and he does a great job for me, because you know, the guy comes back to me and says, what do you think, have we got any more money? It's like, no, it's going to be the same budget as last year, same budget as the year before. Then he's got a real problem on his hands, because he's got plenty of lads coming back to him saying, well, I want more money, I want more money every week.
Because I'm a playoff champion.
Because I'm a playoff champion. And the problem is the club hasn't got any more money, and the club isn't bringing any more people through the door, and there's a finite amount of money to run this club on, and it's got to be run as a commercial business. Not as a sporting team. And to be fair to the guy, he goes away, he finds us new players, he brings in new guys, he changes things around, and you know, my confidence is with him. And that's not just like they do in football, you know, my confidence with the manager, my confidence is with my coach. You know, year after year after year, he produces good teams for us, and even when we haven't won silverware, we've played great hockey, it's been exciting. You're always on the edge of your seat with Tony's teams. And it's nice for me, because I have a real big part with him, and we partner it together, and I think that for me is probably the big part of it, really, having such a really good guy doing most of the work and advising. It makes life really simple, Jim.
Yeah, we'll come back to Tony, I think, in future programmes, the annual will he, won't he play. We'll leave that. He never tells us till the beginning of September anyway, till he sees how everything's working out. So
well, it's because we want to unravel and see which players we take on, and the depth and the strength of the team. The nice thing is that, you know, at worst, and this is the way I always look at it, with the greatest respect to Tony, and you know him and I are good friends, at worst, Tony will be on the first line. So my first line will be a great line anyway. You know, if we come up with a better player and a better playmaker, then Tony will take a step, and you know, he'll probably work from the bench a lot more. And I think, you know, we'd all like to see Tony working from the bench a lot more.
And I think just to strike fear into the rest of the league, is a wee statistic for you.
Yeah.
We've got the record assists scorer on the first line, and we've got the third and fourth top goal scorers from last season on our first line. If that doesn't make people sit up and look.
Do you know what? I think, you know, there's other things coming over the next couple of months, and I think we're going to have a good team. I have no worries there. In fact, I never have any worries with the team, to be honest with you.
Of course, on that note, we're talking about having what should on paper be one of the best top lines in the league, no doubt about it. A little bit of talk about the way we do things here, as far as signing and announcing signings, and the forums are full of it at the moment. You know, why don't we do what everybody else does and get them out? Because teams have told us about half the team, and then why didn't we tell them about players that have gone, etc. But
is that like, why don't we all date the same woman, or is that slightly different?
Maybe. I mean, I liken it to, well,
because we do things different in Manchester, and we've had our stall set out for many years now. And do you know what, Jim? In all honesty, we're doing nothing different than normal. This programme was recorded at exactly the same time last year and the year before. And we put things out exactly the same way, and we normally release 2 players every 2 weeks. And we make sure that we've got things in place and things are working properly and any changes we want to make, and that's how we do things here. And it works for us. And up until now, obviously now, this is the first year that people have been unhappy with the way we do things. They've always been happy before. I don't think we want to be like every other team. You know, which team do you want to be like? Do you want to be, which is every other team? Do you want to be like the team at the bottom of the league, or do you want to be like every other team that's at the top of the league? Or I don't know. We do things slightly different, you know, and that normally works for Tony and I. And normally, most people that support the organisation and team are normally quite happy. But they're unhappy, are they?
You can never please all of the people all of the time in anything you do across life, really. So you know, it's working.
To be fair, the cameraman just said to me, "I know what team, what do you think about?" Some people saying they're not buying season tickets until you release what team you've got, and it's like, well, you know, that's their prerogative. But I couldn't really see them, you know, writing up to United and saying, you know, and I know he's gone now, by the way, in case you don't think I'm in touch with the news. But you know, dear Sir Alex, I refuse to buy my season ticket until you tell me what team you are going to pick. You know, it's just. Do
you know what he would say?
It's not reality, is it? I mean, let's be honest. It's like, do you know what? And the other point is, I have a guy that's working for me, that works for this club, that represents this club at a very high level, who has picked great teams every year, every season that he's worked for me, and I have no doubt that this season will be as good. So why people want to see whether he can still do a good job before they buy a season ticket is beyond me. Because you know what, my confidence is with him. He's going to do a good job. We're going to have a great team. Don't worry about it. You know, without being funny, Jim, buy your season ticket. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be exciting. What do you want me to tell you? You know, we're not. You know, we don't have bad teams in Manchester. You know, we're not always the best, but you know what? We're always up there somewhere about, and we have a lot of fun, and we create a lot of excitement, and that's what sport's about. You know, if anybody wants a guarantee of becoming league champions before they buy a season ticket, it ain't gonna happen. You know.
Right, well, there you have it. Straight from the horse's mouth, or from the bike, or from the cage, or whatever we had, or from somewhere. But the early bird offer's still on there. It's not got that long to go. Get your name down, call Mags or anybody else in the office, get doing. Season tickets are important to the club. We need your help, we need your tickets, and we want to see you in September with the place full. Another exciting Manchester hockey team. And
you know what, over the next couple of weeks and the next couple of months, you'll see we've put in a good team together. We're taking our time, we're not rushing, we're not buying players for the sake of it. We've got a lot of good plans in place. We've got a lot of boys already lined up. We're going to have a great team in Manchester. It's going to be as much fun as last year, if not more, and it's going to be exciting. So be a part of it. We want you to be a part of it. We'll be a part of it.